What up, what up?
It's Jasmine.
Jazzy Jazz.
Welcome back to Bathroom Tunes with Amber. You did your ancestry thing. Clink.
I'll just show you how much coffee we have.
You did your ancestry thing. Did you have any kind of like Hispanic or Latino heritage at all?
0.7%.
From where?
I am so sorry.
Are you freaking kidding me? We don't restart for ferns.
I am so sorry, guys.
Why are you apologizing to them? I'm the one that's like 3 inches away from you.
It's fine.
Ugh!
I'm sorry, guys.
Why don't you tell them what we're singing?
We're singing.
Wow, that was terrible.
I bent over to put my coffee down, and the pressure was just too much. It's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, it's like whatever, you know.
Everybody farts, guys.
Everybody poops. We're singing "Grace Alone" by King's Kaleidoscope.
Oh, we didn't even like run through it together.
Oops.
This is gonna be fun.
I don't know. I'll just have to find my starting output. Credit to. I don't think I gave her a nickname. I don't know. Credit to Kaylee because she's the one that told
Hopper.
me about this song, and then I shared it with.
And we me gusta.
Me gusta. This was like months ago, but okay. What?
Nothing. I just looked like an idiot because I couldn't tell if you had a necklace on. I was just like.
I wore this out because Moxie has a trigger. Moxie has a trigger of dog tags jingling.
She does.
So anytime she hears it, she automatically thinks there's a dog close by. So I wore this out to get her used to that sound.
That is very smart.
Every time I move.
Smart.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to care very much. So I think I just wear it like a little bit, maybe like at least a full week of taking her out. And there you go. Can't remember. Alright, we're just gonna start. And if I change key, it's because I gotta find it. I was an orphan lost at the fall, running away when I heard you call. But Father, you worked your will. I had no righteousness of my own. I had no right to draw near your throne. But Father, you loved me still. And in love before you laid the world's foundation, you predestined to adopt me as your own. You have raised me so high above my station. I'm a child of God by grace and grace alone. You left your home to seek out the lost. You knew the great and terrible cost. But Jesus, your face was set. I worked my fingers down to the bone, but nothing I did could ever atone. But Jesus, you paid my debt. By your blood I have redemption and salvation. Lord, you died that I might reap what you have sown. And you rose that I might be a new creation. I am born by grace and I am born again by grace and grace alone. My bad. I was in darkness all of my life. I never knew the day from the night. But Spirit, you made me see. I swore I knew the way on my own. I head for the rocks are hard for
made
the
of stone.
I'm really screwing this up.
But spirit,
You move me still.
you moved in me. I mean, just read the lyrics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And now you touch my sleeping
You done screwed me up now.
Why? Go, you start it.
No, I mean, anyways. And that your touch, my sleeping spirit was awakened, and my darkest
heart, the light
of Christ has shone. Called into a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Heaven's citizen by grace and grace alone. So I'll stand in faith by grace and grace alone. I will run the race by grace and grace alone. I will slay my sins by grace and grace alone. I will reach the end by grace and grace alone.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what that
It
is.
sounded really harsh when I said it, but I didn't mean it harsh. Because I did it a couple times too. Like, it's...
We should, honestly, if we ran through it once, we would have been fine. I don't know what was going on. I think I was getting thrown off by how the ending on some of yours were.
Probably, because I went up instead of down on a couple. But,
Which, it's not a big deal. I just, if we would...
This song is hard to sing when you don't have the musical cues behind you. Because it's like...
So
the beginning is like a slower tempo, and then the tempo picks up, and it's almost like you're not ready for it if you don't have the background music. But
I'll just play a little snippet. It's very pretty. You should go listen to it. It's very real. It's very beautiful. This is the instrumental
it's
too.
very pretty. This is an instrumental. Why don't we just sing with this one?
Because there's no lyrics on it.
Why
And YouTube doesn't let you look at anything else while you're on the YouTube.
don't? It's probably not on iTunes either. They don't usually put instrumentals on it on YouTube.
Anyways, very pretty.
It's very relaxing, very pretty. Pretty music.
Very party music.
Why'd you say I screwed you up other than that?
What are you talking
When
about?
I was like, you could just remember the lyrics.
Because I was just like, wow. In my head, I was just like, wow.
Should I wait to give you pointers after we're done
Yes.
recording? Or like, can
I mean, just read the lyrics.
No.
That's not a pointer. That's not a pointer. That's just
not
like,
what I'm talking
I mean, quit being stupid. I mean,
No, it is not what I meant. I was just gonna say you pay too much attention when you mess up. You just gotta like pick yourself up and keep going. Not be like, wow, I'm really messing this up.
that's true.
Just keep going. Keep going. Fight through it.
I feel like when I mess up, I have spouts of just like where my brain doesn't know what words look like anymore. Just for like a split second, it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, that's great. Mm. This is good. I was gonna say you did good making coffee, but I guess we both did good making coffee because I made the coffee and you mixed it with the creamer. Please don't break his baby toilet before he can even use it.
Yeah. I like the verse. I work my fingers down to the bones. Because it's like,
Oh, I was ready for you to keep going.
well, I kind of forgot the rest.
You have your phone.
My bad. My bad, fam.
My bad, fam.
My bad.
Who's that?
It's Naruto.
Oh. Maybe just go back.
Maybe just go back, yeah. Maybe just read the lyrics, Jeremiah. I'm gonna bring that up so much.
I'm sorry. You make fun of me because I'm so fit or because I'm a womanizer. Oh.
I don't know. I think that's like my favorite stanza of the whole song. It's like, you left your home to seek out. Wait. Wow.
Listen, my face has no chill.
You left your home to seek out the lost. You knew the great and terrible cost. But Jesus, your face was set. I worked my fingers down to the bone, but nothing I did could ever atone. But Jesus, you paid my debt. Because it's just like,
Sorry.
talking about like, Jesus knew the cost, which kind of brings me back to the scene in the garden. Like, he's praying to God, like, Lord, if there's any way that this cup can be passed from me, I'm ad-libbing because I don't know the actual verse, you know, please take it. But then he like kind of like pauses, like,
But that
realizes less the responsibility like set back in on his shoulders, and he's just like, but thy will be done. Because he knew what was going to happen, and he almost like knew the question. He was just like, one last plea before I do what I'm supposed to do, you know. But then it goes on further to just be like, working yourself to death to try to earn the righteousness, to try to earn what he gives you is just pointless. That's why I don't understand. I do not understand some people, some Christians say, I don't know how to word this because there's part of it that I do agree.
Do you want to think about it for a second? Because I have
sure.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Jeremiah brought up the image of Jesus in the garden praying before he would be crucified and ultimately die for our sins. And I was doing a Bible study about overcoming anxiety, and it was like one of the spoken like meditations. And they talked about how, you know, even Jesus experienced anxiety. And I don't think I ever specifically thought about Jesus experiencing anxiety because, you know, being like, when we go to church and we hear messages, they say that anything you've been through, Jesus has already experienced. Like, he's already been there. And I'm like, I've never like really thought about like, oh, Jesus has anxiety or has been through anxious times. But it gave us the picture of him in the garden. And it like really broke my heart because he told the disciples like, stay here and pray, and I'm gonna go and pray. And just, he was like, he pleaded with God and was so anxious about what was to come that his sweat was as blood, which we've talked about it before. I think it means he was sweating so heavily that it was just pouring down his face. And he, you know, still made it to that conclusion, but thy will be done. And he went back to his disciples and they had fallen asleep. He woke them up, told them, stay here, pray, and went and prayed again. And correct me if I'm wrong, he did this a third time. He prayed 3 times that prayer. How is that not a picture of anxiety? Like,
Lord, please take this away. 5 minutes later, Lord, please take this away. Like, Lord.
That's
Lord.
a real picture of like what it is to be anxious and to.
And I'm just gonna throw this out there bluntly: people that don't have anxiety will not understand that. Will not.
But that's okay.
It's okay.
Everybody's
just don't.
got their own thing.
It's okay. Just don't be rude to others if you don't understand what they're going through.
That's like a for everything.
Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Don't be rude to others when you don't know what they're going through.
I don't know. It just makes me angry when, personally, it makes me angry when somebody says something like, we'll just, I don't know.
We'll just pray about it, and you'll feel better.
It's not even that. It's just like, I heard somebody say, and I don't remember who it was, but I was overhearing a conversation about somebody saying to somebody like, well, like, you know, like my wife just has anxiety or whatever, you know, she just like, because they were talking about something like, well, I don't, you know, she doesn't want to go do it because she's anxious about doing it, and the other person was like, everybody has anxiety, like, she just needs to suck it up and go do it. Like, as if, because somebody that says that doesn't have real anxiety.
Right.
Because that is just a blatant disrespect for the other person's struggle, because you're belittling the toll that it takes on somebody's brain to be anxious, to feel anxiety.
Yeah.
So yes, it is a coverage of just do that with everything, but I don't know. There's
a difference between situational anxiety, which everybody can experience, and having a imbalance in your brain that causes you to experience anxiety, like chronic anxiety, ongoing anxiety. You know, there's not just like I'm an anxious person, like, you know what I mean? It depends on the person. It depends on the level of anxiety they experience. There's such a spectrum of like least to greatest, or the different contributing factors, that you just can't make blanket statements like that. Everybody has anxiety. Well, that might be the case, but you have not experienced it on the level that I have. I haven't experienced it on the level that you have. And it's it goes round and round about everything.
It's pretty much like the whole saying, like, somebody else out there has it worse than you.
Right.
So it's kind of like that, but in just like it's translated to something else.
In a not nice way.
And so I guess it just goes back to that. Somebody else might have it worse than you have, so just be courteous of how you word things. Like, you don't have to agree or this, that, and the other, but I guess just don't throw that out there, because
blanket statements in general.
Blanket statements aren't good.
Nice.
They're not good. They just cover everybody up, and you know. And it's just not good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But circling back.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Whatever.
I was just going to say, there's nothing that you're going through that Jesus hasn't experienced.
Right. Big
Even
or
if
small.
he didn't walk your specific footsteps, you know?
He was 100% God, 100% man.
He knows all the feels that we experience as humans.
Yeah.
And the heartbreak, and the pain, and the worry, and the anxiety, and the temptation, and
the
everything.
Loss.
Ugh.
I mean, just for instance, the one I think about is maybe was it? Yeah, he beat that Lazarus' tomb. He waited. Just I don't the whole story, but he like got to the tomb, or he got to the family, and they said, what did they say? Something along the lines of, why didn't you come?
Why weren't you here?
Why weren't you here? And then he said something, and he like broke down and started weeping.
Yeah.
And it's not crying, it's weeping, like shoulders up, down. That's what I'm imagining when the word
weeping is like a laborious
was used.
Cry.
So he's felt loss. And
even though he knew, the whole point of Lazarus' death was so that God's glory could be revealed, but he still wept bitterly.
He still allowed himself to feel loss. He could definitely, 100% man, 100% God, 100% God. He could have turned that off. He didn't have to feel that loss. He allowed himself to feel that loss, to go through it, so that he could feel what we feel and show that he knows what it feels like, so that later on down the road, well, I just had a family member pass away. Jesus went through that. Jesus knows.
And I just had this thought. Jesus experienced something that none of us we don't have to experience it. You choose to experience it. But Jesus on the cross felt complete separation from God because of bearing the sins of the world. Uh-oh, doggy.
What are you doing?
What are you doing, Moo?
Are you attacking cats?
That's not something that you have to... Oh, that breeze. Yes.
Too bad.
Yes. But that's not something that you have to experience. You choose to experience separation from God. But Jesus felt that for us. Can you imagine complete separation from God? Complete separation from your heavenly Father? Like, that love that has always been there with him and complete separation. That is a feeling that none of us have to even experience, but he did that for us. That's crazy. The more I learn about Jesus, the more... How can you learn more about him and not just love him more and more and more and more?
I figured out what it was.
What was it, buddy?
Yeah, it's too hot in here. Don't do that.
I know. That's why I'm leaning, because I'm trying.
Well, don't make me suffer as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I figured it out. It's so there's some people out there that say, like, I don't know, you gotta do this, or you gotta do that, I don't know how to word it, but what I'm saying is I agree with this. You absolutely need to trust Jesus and step out on faith if he's calling you to go do something. What you don't need to do, because your debt was paid in full on the cross.
Amen.
So everything that you're going to do or have done, God already knew that, and it's gone. Do you need to ask for forgiveness? Absolutely, if you screw up. It's normal human nature. We're going to screw up. We're going to screw up till the end. We are supposed to try to live the most Christ-like life we can. What that means is follow Jesus' example. Love people. Try to do good. Try to fight your flesh daily.
Right.
What you don't need to do is try to work to earn what Jesus has already paid for.
Right.
Because all you're managing to do is get away from the whole point of the cross.
Right.
So I don't know how to word it exactly, but the people out there that say this part, do this, I don't agree with, because you're totally and that's
like you gotta work to earn what he has for you.
You can't, and you can't earn it. How can you earn? How can you work to earn what a man goes and he gives up his entire life to give you? How do you earn that?
It is his entire life. It's not just the moment that he was
He came
hanging on the cross
to earth.
It was from birth to death. It was the whole time.
This is a brutal picture, but it's pretty much like livestock being raised.
He was born. He was born to die.
Well, yeah, that's the easiest, fastest way to put it.
Are you mad about
I was
that?
trying to come up with like some great analogy, like he was. But yeah,
what is wrong with
he was.
The way
He was
I
born
said
to
it?
die. He was sent here to die. 33 years committed to being born to die.
Bro, I'm not even 30 yet.
For us. I'm about to cut her.
And I think we mentioned that too before. Like, can you imagine like being in year 33,
Hush. We'll be on in a second.
knowing you were headed in that direction?
No bork bork. No bork bork. No.
Knowing how long you had.
Hush. But yeah.
Can we finish Chosen tonight? We only have like one.
We don't have any more free on it.
Yeah, it auto withdraws.
You're telling me we paid for it. Hush. Hush. We'll be there. You're right here.
Alright. I think that's it for me at least.
Alright, sorry, a little bit of a rant, but hopefully you enjoyed the song and hopefully you got something from it.
Can we dance him out?
No.
You gotta dance!
I don't want to dance. I'm hot, I'm sweaty.